Let me start off with you, Mr. Fair. So we have the statement from Nsoatreman Football Club, basically stating that since the pole incident happened, they've faced some security concerns with regards to their team. They feel that their players and their staff are not safe any longer, and based on these issues, they have taken the decision to withdraw from the Ghana Premier League. Now, we've spoken to a couple of people at the FA. The FA say that they have not, or they are yet to receive officially the withdrawal request from Nsoatreman Football Club. Gabi, what do we have and what do we know as far as this situation is concerned?
So we're just sitting somewhere minding our business this afternoon. So the letter came in around 2 p.m.ish that way. Okay. Essentially saying what you've highlighted. So withdrawal from the 2024-2025 Ghana Premier League. On the letterhead, you can see a couple of details there. So one, there's the club's name and a telephone number. The telephone number is their former general manager. Yes.
Are you kidding me?
Yes, I'm not kidding you.
Who, Eric Alagide?
Yes, Eric Alagide.
Who is not with the club anymore?
Yes, so his
telephone number is the one that was under the statement.
No, it's on the letterhead at the top. And he's not too.
Premier League.
He's not too happy with that.
Alagide has resigned of more than 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. He's still using his.
I don't understand why his number. So I'm just pointing out the infractions. Another one, when you look at the letter too, the letter says sincerely signed club president. Who is the club president? The person's name.
There's no name there?
No, there's no name
on
signature.
The letter.
It just says club president.
Club president. It could be Susu
Graham. That's his name. His name is club
Ghana
president.
Big. We are talking about details here. This is the Ghana Premier League, Ghana's top flight league. If you are putting out details, go straight to the point. Give us the details.
It's almost like the letter was written by certain sections of the club, and certain sections don't agree with it.
Another part of it is what you mentioned. The GFA is yet to acknowledge receipt on the part of what Nsoatreman have put out, what they are circulating, regards to they saying that
they don't play in the league.
Play in the league. Now this is a judicial matter.
Yeah.
This is one of the matters that normally ends up in court.
Yeah.
Okay, and the GFA is saying that look, if they say that they won't play the Ghana Premier League again, which of the entities is the first that you have to get to? Is the Ghana Football Association.
You don't go to the media first.
They are the handlers of the Ghana Premier League, or they are the one who control. In fact, they have a competitions department that has its head, and so he or she takes part or takes control of whatever we do in this country, i.e. the Ghana Premier League, i.e. the Division 1, the Women's Premier League, and that kind of stuff. Now, why Nsoatreman have put out this statement? It's on the back of what happened in their last Premier League game against Samatex.
This is the resumption of the league.
Yes, the resumption of the league.
Tell us about that.
So, because of that incident that happened in Nsoatre, the Nana Konamansa Park was banned by the Ghana Football Association, and so they would have to make do with their alternative ground, which is where Bibiani, the dance park, that's where Bibiani Gold Stars do play their home games. So it means that they will now be sharing the home venue with Bibiani Gold Stars. Now, on their way to Bibiani, there's a stretch called Kukum. Right? There's a stretch called Kukum. They saw the signs, or they were attacked, let me say slightly, on their way to play the game against Samatex. After the game, when they were coming back, the attacks from whoever. Now, before I even proceed, Kukum is where the late Kotokofan Nanapole comes from. Alright? So that is where on their way back they had another attack which was very intense.
Wow.
And that is what has led them to
what kind of attack is this?
So
like they verbal, what kind of physical, what kind of attack?
Not verbal. They had people pelting them with stones, some having machete.
So literally an assault.
Yes, an assault on the road. More of like an ambush, maybe if you want to put it.
That was very scary.
Wow.
You get it. And Now look, we are talking about a team or a club that plays in the Ghana Premier League. When you are going to play, when you are watching the leagues or the European leagues, maybe the Champions League or stuff. If Liverpool is traveling to Everton, you see the kind of policemen leading the bus.
In fact,
because you would have,
in fact,
Evertonians.
Very recently, Real Madrid Atletico, I saw the pre-game footage.
Good.
Oh my goodness!
You on their horses.
Yeah.
You would have the home team's fans, not like they are attacking you, but they are trying to create a hostile atmosphere for you by having this flares and that kind of stuff. I'm only trying to paint a picture. Why Nsoatreman is traveling to Bibiani and go without a police escort, and they are in their bus. I'm not condoning the attacks from.
This was not part of the security protocol, no. Like to have a police escort travel in your bus.
You mean what the GFA put? What
it
the
wasn't
GFA?
part of
No, it
that.
wasn't part of it. Those
Remember, somebody mentioned that this needed to be part of it because teams have been attacked to and fro from games multiple times.
And so, the point I'm trying to make is that I don't understand that bit. The second bit I'm trying to say is that I'm not trying to condone the attacks from whoever did it.
Yeah,
that is not the right thing to do. If you say Pole is from your Kokom, you have no right to be attacking the players.
Revenge is not your duty.
It's not your duty. Leave it to the Ghana police.
Yep, the matter is under investigation.
To take care of the matter. The matter is not even done. Not too recently, we had the communications director for Kotoko, Samuel Safu Duku, saying that they are still looking for one person who is at large. It means that the person is on the run. And so it's not like the matter is dead. And if it is dead, I'll be very disappointed. Because look, we are sick and tired of talking about people going to the stadia, the various stadia, to pelt players with water bottles, stones, and to the extent pelt team buses with stones. You have no right to do so. So Nsoatreman have released a statement saying that security cannot. I mean, the Ghana Football Association or whoever is to give us the security. It's not happening now. When they announced that the league was about to resume, they put out this statement talking about the fact that all the regions have been assigned with police heads or something of that sort. What has become of that statement, or how did that thing work? How did it function? You get the point I'm making, because the Ghana Football Association and whoever was put in charge for that region should be collaborating. I don't know if they did. Should be collaborating with Nsoatreman because people out there will still have their own plans.
They definitely should have gotten some special security, at least for a temporary period.
Good. People out there will still view Nsoatreman differently. After what happened in Nsoatre, the players who are in the bus, they are going to be BNE, or they are going to be BNE to go and play their home game and come back. You have no right to pelt or to attack them. So that is why Nsoatreman said that, look, that statement, if you read it, the security is an issue for them. So they cannot continue to play the Ghana Premier League. That is their point. Now it is up to the Ghana Football Association to respond to the letter and to tell us the way forward. Because like I said,
this has thrown the league into a lot of chaos.
Yes,
actually.
we don't know what would happen.
Because
now,
they had scheduled opponents this weekend.
Good. Susu was explaining these things to me. And when I dug deeper with the FIFA regulations with regards to clubs or players, yes, with regards to clubs that withdraw from league competitions, look, it's a lot. There's one in there talking about just cause. What constitutes a just cause is not blah blah blah. FIFA regulations generally prevent clubs from terminating their participation in a league competition during the season unless there's a just cause. So you see, these are legal matters.
Would this be deemed just cause?
Would Nsoatreman have done be deemed as such? What would be the response from the Ghana Football Association? What would be, you see, already the league stuff is not even attracting the kind of attention.
And this is the last thing the league needs.
I didn't see this coming. I didn't see, because look, before I end my submission. When they put out how many malicious personnel did they put out there? They said 20 and then 100 policemen. The question is, going forward, would this be something that would be continuously done? Who would be inheriting the cost, or who would bear the cost of these deployment of service personnel? at the various venues? Would it be at the cost of the clubs? Can the Ghana Football Association continue to do this till whenever? Till we bring some sanity to the spectators who go to the various venues to go and watch football? You get the point I'm making? So we are in very, very critical times. What it means is that going forward, the league is an 18-man competition. 18 clubs partaking in the competition. So now we'll have to do with 17.
What happens to all the fixtures that we're going to get engaged?
Charlie.
So a lot to digest. Let me just get Abeku's thoughts on that quickly so I can change topics because I have a lot to talk about. Abeku, just snap thoughts on this. I don't know if you've ever witnessed a situation where a club said, yeah, Bobium, not to a match, but to an entire remainder of a campaign. And if so, I mean, just share a little insight on us on what the FA will do upon receiving a letter like this, probably the staff around it.
So I'll say two things and leave the space. Look, this was coming. I had a discussion with an Nsoatreman management member who's not with the club anymore. When you go to the grounds in Nsoatre, it's not a place that the fans will give you your peace of mind first off. And this person was trying to change the minds of the people to get to understand that, look, we have rules and regulations that guide our game. And that if you get into situations where you tend to go against some of these rules and regulations, you'll be penalized. And it will not affect the fans. It would affect the clubs the club involved directly. I have been at Mysterious Ebusia Dwarfs preaching the same story to my fans. They never listened, got into the situation between Dwarfs and Legon Cities where a referee was attacked in the tunnel. Legon Cities had a video, they showed it at the sitting when the FA called the matter. And Dwarfs had nothing to say. The fine was put at the doorsteps of the club and the club paid it. The person I spoke to said that he spoke to the owner of the club directly, in this case Nsoatreman, and said that, look, the behavior of the people or the guys down there is one not to be encouraged, to be encouraged or allowed to happen. And they didn't listen, and it was like he was proving as if he knew a lot, in football, and like we say in our local, so they found a way to kick him out of the club. There's division in that club already. There's no discipline as well because, look, I have friends in that football club, but I say this to paint the picture that this was coming, and they should have understood the magnitude of what they were creating. And the person left. Issue of indiscipline and what have you has been happening for a minute. Point two, when you are a club and you are to communicate any decision you want to take, you have to inform the FA first. What happens is that before the onset of every Premier League campaign, I mean, talk about Ghana Premier League campaign, the clubs sign a form of agreement with the FA to say that we are members or we are partakers of this season's league, and we follow ABCD in that we are pledging or we are affirming that we are not going to leave at any point in time. Why? When you go through when I love it when Gabi zoomed into the general federation, as the rules governing the game at large from up there, it has been broken down into regulations. So we have the Premier League regulations out of 2019. When you read Article 3, 1 to 5, it explains it all. If you are a club and you take a decision to leave the league. 13.1 says that a club shall be liable for misconduct if it withdraws from a competition after the competition has started without just cause. What Gabi raised from the mother body skewed into ours here. Point 2 goes on and explains. Now point 5, because of the time, and I want to skip into that. Point 5 says that where a club withdraws from the league after it has started, any match which that club is scheduled to play shall be considered forfeited, and accordingly 3 points and 3 goals shall be awarded in favor of the opposing club. First off, Nsoatreman have no business leaking this letter to the media. They belong to an association. The Ghana Football Association is made up of the clubs.
And that should be your first destination.
If you don't want to take that first destination, you can go to GARCA, because it's the welfare body of the league we are playing here in the country. So GARCA will then liaise with the Ghana Football Association, because GARCA and the Ghana Football Association have a good relationship, and they should have that relationship. They should have sent it to GARCA or the FA directly. There's an email the FA has provided for complaints and claims and what have you in that direction, and send it to the FA and allow the FA time to respond. Why do I say that? When you read pointer 2 in Article 13.2, Article 13 says withdrawal of clubs from competition or matches. Point 2 says that any club intending to withdraw from any competition must give notice of its intention to do so to the Ghana Football Association not later than 14 days before the commencement of the competition. Should the club fail to comply with this regulation, the association shall have the power to compel such offending club to refund any expenses incurred and that's such further action as it may deem fit. Now it lies in the bosom of the FA what they would have to do. So Nsoatreman know they did the wrong thing. They should have communicated to the FA. And now they leave everything in the hands of the FA to bring them to books. If they had written to the FA 14 days before, there are situations where these laws there are flexibilities around these things. So you play the game the other weekend. If you feel you are not, if you've done their research, there are operation managers, or if you want, operation directors in football clubs. They survey the area. For example, when I was with us, before we get to say Doma, the operation director would have gone there, look at a hotel which is safe, book it for the club, and assess the situation on the ground.
But how will you prepare for an unannounced road ambush? Like people hiding in the bush, jumping out of the bushes at you and pelting you with stones.
There's always someone who's going to give you an information. For example, when I was with us, we were going to play against Elmina Sharks. When the atmosphere is not sound, we know. Because there's an insider. Look, during one of the senior national team, the Black Stars game at the Accra Sports Stadium, we lost that game. And there was an insider, a worker with the National Sports Authority, who was promised a certain amount, 20,000 Ghana cedis, and the person gave out an information. So I'm saying that before you get to the ground, there's an operation director who does all of these things.
Fair point.
Let me just 1 minute on this matter. You see, when you have a sleeping Ghana Football Association, this is what happens. My brother Abeko has done a yeoman's job. But I also sit here to say, there's no regulation in the FA statutes that can compel somebody to go and play when the person's life is at stake. To hell with any regulation there. The people, you see, when the FA should have known. This is Ghana, like Abeko rightly said. The FA themselves, if they were truly proactive, they should have known that henceforth, everywhere Nsoatreman goes, there's going to be animosity there. This is common sense. This is common, proper thinking outside of the box. It's so simple for you to see. So, how did the FA liaise with Nsoatreman to ensure
their safety?
They slept on the job. They've always been sleeping on the job. So for me, do I support the idea of Nsoatreman saying they won't play? In fact,
they say that the club has been dissolved and that the players have been asked to go home.
Contract abrogated.
That's a huge matter.
You see, the fact of the matter is, we've already lost, unfortunately, one life. We don't need to go and exchange another for another. You can't do that. want to believe it wasn't a decision that was just easily taken. But I have seen videos of Nsoatreman on their way back, and people holding cutlasses, stones, chasing their bats. Look, innocent players, innocent technical team. The driver of that bus should be commended. Because the speed with which he drove, if there was any car in front of him, there will be, look, but now we'll be,
the issue would have been completely different.
We are talking completely different matters. So when people's lives are at stake, to hell with the regulation of the FA. You can't nipper, that's the near regulation. The FA, look, if they were very proactive, they will not even wait for Nsoatreman to write to them before they take. Quickly, invite them over. What are the situation? What is the situation? What can we do? Because you see, if they were to indeed withdraw from the league, we are in a total mess. Total mess. That's what. Why should our football be going through all these things? We've been through a lot already.
Yeah.
So sit up, be a bit proactive, up your game. You cannot tell me that they didn't see, or they couldn't sit down to critically analyze wherever Nsoatreman goes from here onwards. Everywhere they go, there will be problem. So for me, if the lives of innocent players, technical men are at stake, wherever they go in Ghana,
the club should do.
There's no court of law. I repeat, no court of law will say the FA would have Yekokun will be a OC regulation. What the hell? What the? Me na you.
Relax. Come
the
on.
child me come attack me come away. Ni no feel na judge. Na me trouble. Guarantee their safety because innocent lives.
Yeah.
These players, none of
I won't play football in those circumstances.
Why should I go to train? Why should I go and sit in a bus in the name of Nsoatreman and go and jeopardize my life and somebody hit me in my head, I die, free death, useless death?
Yeah.
What is that?
Mr. Graham, let me just give you the final word on this. Just wrap it up for us.
Everyone has made important points. I think withdrawing from the league is a very serious legal issue. There's a lot that goes into it. The GFA has a lot to deal with. But at the same time, at the end of the day, if every away game you are going to go to, you are going to have to do Grand Theft Auto, Fast and Furious to leave the ground. It's not sustainable.
They were chasing the ball.
No, it's not sustainable.
They have gotten hold of them.
That one there is not sustainable. So that one, and the truth is, once their safety is in question, you can understand their decision. Like you see, there's the legal side, and then there's the human side.
Yep.
On the human side, this is a perfectly understandable decision. And I think this is because the whole thing has been mismanaged from the start, which is why we've gotten here. Because why do
just let me not cut you? There was an AFCON we went to, where I think the Togolese
yes
they
was attacked.
They can't punish them. They did it because if you look at the gravity of the matter, Yekokun will be housing regulation.
So at the end of the day, there's the two sides of it. Legally, I think there's going to be some backlash. It's not going to end well for them legally. But I think a lot of people understand that, look, the way this, and that's why I said if things had been handled better,
probably
and maybe
be
people
here.
trusted institutions more, people wouldn't feel like we need to get our revenge for Pole. We need to be the ones to, and it's very silly because what are you going to do? Because if you go and hurt someone, now you also be in prison. Have you helped him by being in prison? So I think, look,
we're in for an interesting next couple of days.